PlayStation's in an interesting position. I think they need to figure out what kind of company they want to be moving forward, because their games as a service initiative is clearly not doing what they wanted it to do. They need to buckle down and get their first parties moving on games. They need to understand what made them, I think. And I know the whole thing is like, you don't want to stop investing in the game as a service stuff, right? I think they need 1 or 2 hits in that arena to stay, in that, right? I mean, the thing is like, you can invest in 10 or 12 of them and only 2 of them need to hit for you to be like, look, we succeeded in this arena. But as I've heard on multiple podcasts, the PlayStation 50% of their revenue or 60% of their revenue came from 10 games, and they don't own any of them last year. It's like Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite and Apex Legends and some of these other free-to-play games, right? Or Call of Duty, right? Stuff like that. They don't own any of them. They don't own any of these IP. And so what's the main games on these platforms, as kids grow up with computers and PCs, right? My daughter has had a Chromebook since she was 4 from school, not from us, from school. They're already learning how to do stuff on PCs. Not that Chromebook's the best place to learn, but like they're already learning keyboard and mouse skills, like all these things. And I think that this current generation growing up with PCs are generally going to migrate towards a PC style experience, which is why I think the Switch 2 was smart in implementing mouse and keyboard controls for certain games, or at least mouse support for a lot of these games, right? Like Metroid and Drag and Drive, and some of the, I think Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic just implemented mouse controls in the Switch 2 version. Like, I think Nintendo was smart, and I think Xbox is smart for utilizing that in a lot of cases. But like, as you move towards this future where kids are growing up with PCs literally in their hands before they can even say full sentences, it feels like you got to make sure you are in a space that is relevant and keep people on your platform, and have us, our generation, the 30 to 45-year-old range who are parents and growing up console gamers, right? Like, introducing them to consoles, right? My kids are obsessed with Switch 2, right? My daughter's obsessed with Animal Crossing, and both of them are getting into Minecraft, and they love the Switch 2. They love the Switch 2, and they love the Xbox. But, not everyone is like us. A lot of people grew out of games that are our age, or stop playing games or have no interest in games, right? And so like the PC platform, as Steam has grown and become bigger, and PCs become more and cheaper and more prevalent and can play a lot of the games that, the indie games don't require a lot of power on these PCs, and these consoles are becoming stagnant, at least. I mean, we'd love to see them grow, right? But like the platforms are becoming stagnant in terms of growth, right? I mean, they need to find a way. And so Sony, you look at Sony, right? And again, I'm taking a lot of this from podcasts that I've heard before, and hosts, and who are a lot smarter than I am. I believe in what they say. Shout out to Cog and Maddie on Defining Duke, and I listen to a lot of Sacred Symbols with Colin, and I think that they do a lot of they say a lot of things that make sense for the industry instead of just what they're feeling, right? And so I tend to listen more to that. But I think PlayStation needs to figure out, okay, so we clearly make great single player games, right? Let's focus on that. Let's make sure that these games are perfect,